Breaking Barriers Collaborative is an initiative founded by 5 nonprofit organizations in the Pacific Northwest. And our mission is to help businesses and other organizations in the Pacific Northwest to accelerate the equitable transition of their businesses' operations to clean energy.
The Fleet Decarbonization Accelerator Program is a cohort-based model where we have businesses, nonprofits, and governments coming together to build a decarbonization plan so that they can make the transition from fossil fuels over into electric. It can be a fleet of any size, anybody who wants to make the transition to clean energy.
Our goal is to help save organizations time and money to create an actionable fleet decarbonization plan.
The Fleet Decarbonization Accelerator is a primarily online program making it accessible for organizations in both Washington and Oregon. At the start of the program, there's an in-person session where folks can form relationships, see vehicles, and learn more about the tools that they'll be using throughout the program.
The process of transitioning a fleet from gas or diesel vehicles to electric vehicles is totally doable, but it's not necessarily easy. So it helps to have a process in place. One of the things that the Fleet Decarbonization Accelerator does is it creates that structure or that framework for organizations to go through. We cover everything from EV 101 to the different types of vehicles, to infrastructure, to funding, to fleet operations, to change management. And all those different pieces are really important to put together into a fleet decarbonization plan.
They get to hear not only from experts and folks that have gone through it that we bring in to talk about the program, but also policymakers and the utilities.
We were looking for a more formalized way instead of just kind of hoping and dreaming that we had a plan, something that we could hold in our hands. And we thought it'd be a great way to introduce a little more rigor into what we were trying to do.
We were able to bring 4 people from our staff to the program, and this was really key for us to all get on the same page. We all left very motivated, excited, and then since then our conversations have been really effective and efficient. We're all using that shared language that we needed.
It saved us a lot of time, a lot of money. Those partnerships, relationships that we were able to build and get in front of people that we wouldn't have been able to do on our own was of significant value to us.
Prior to doing the accelerator, it seemed like this huge undertaking that we didn't really have a good idea about how to get our arms around that. And through going through the accelerator, I think it really broke down the process. We were able to see clearly what vehicles there was an opportunity for an ROI on, and maybe other vehicles that we had to wait on. Largely, though, it was a great way to bring a lot of resources to bear. Things like grants, different utilities, trying to figure out make-ready infrastructure are all things that we really took advantage of through the program. The Drive tool was also super beneficial. It really told us where we need to put our focus as we move forward in our budgeting process.
It definitely has accelerated our electrification because without some of that upfront work, we would have kind of just sort of pieced things together. But when we made the next electrification jump after our garbage truck, we purchased 3 trucks at one time because of the information we got from the Breaking Barriers program, because we could see that the ROI was there. So rather than waiting and just doing 1 truck at a time, we went ahead and made that leap and got 3 additional vehicles.
A great aspect of the program is that we work with fleets at different stages of decarbonization.
So you get to have businesses and organizations working together, folks who might have completely different businesses but similar problems. Everybody who's done the program, their favorite part is the fact that they get to work with other people and that they get to work with other folks who are also making this transition.
Having other companies of similar size that are in the Breaking Barriers program really allowed us to kind of relate and talk about some of the same issues and understand how other people were doing their fleet planning. There's also a sense of camaraderie, I would say, as far as, we're kind of all in this together, and maybe we're not as far behind as we thought we were.
By bringing fleet managers, sustainability managers, operations managers together in a cohort and to have them share their experiences, not only do they learn from each other, but they also support each other, and it's a way of feeling a little more confident that you're not going through this alone. There's other people that are going through the same process, that are having the same challenges, and that can support you to help get you over the finish line.